versus Team ProviShotZ. Let's send over the casters right now.
Welcome back, I'm Rain, and I'm joined by Chesser, and I'll be introducing the CleverGirls team, which brought the Merlin, Korax, Osprey, Ferox, and Tempest, and all of their Kaldari ships are in red skins. Chesser, what can you tell us about the other team? ProviShotZ.
Yeah, so ProviShotZ. Rifter at 0, with the rest of their team out at range. They're both in a line to each other, so they're actually going to be right, as far away as they want, which is great. Tempest in at 0 too. I almost want to say it's a little bit preemptive to have the Rifter warp in at 0 because it's going to be out of like maximum X-Square rep range possibly, because X-Square didn't warp in at 30, it warped in at 50 along with the Megathron. And I hope that Rifter doesn't get webbed down too quickly and absolutely blown up, because it's sitting very, very close to basically the entire CleverGirls team, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and while there is a battleship there, I would assume that's where he'd immediately go for it, but I'm guessing this Korax and this Merlin can just immediately destroy him.
Yeah, Rifter's already in armor, so it's taking some damage. We see the skirmish links brought up on both sides. Let's see if that Rifter lives or not, because it is sitting right on top of that Tempest, and if that Tempest gets held down by the Rifter for long periods of time throughout the fight, you're going to be in some serious trouble. Rifter half armor right now isn't going to hold Rain.
I don't think so. This Execute isn't immediately burning in. Instead, he's actually getting his transversal up while repping this with this Rifter.
Yeah. I want to say the Executor should just burn in a little bit more aggressively here. This Rifter is getting dangerously low, and if it drops, the Tempest will be free, but Tempest is taking serious damage too.
I was going to say the Rifter does have armor maintenance spots in him, so maybe they're relying on those drones to keep him alive and just like hoping that if he dies for the Tempest, it's definitely a fair trade.
Zenth is a hero. At this point, it doesn't even matter if the Rifter dies. He's done his job. Tempest Catatonic right now is just falling, 30% shields. It looks like Provi is just absolutely showing some really, really great play here. I was worried about Zenth, but he's completely done his job. Rifter making the huge plays here.
We do have Brett Thomas in the Osprey on top, not on top, but really close to that Tempest. So he's obviously trying to get reps there, trying to hold him.
The Tempest is falling. That Megathron is going to be able to do wonderful damage, especially when the Tempest is scramwebbed by Zenth, and right now Zenth is actually recovering armor. It looks like they're trying to switch off to Eos and the Myrmidon, but I almost wonder if it's too little too late. They wasted a lot of time on that Rifter for no gain.
I don't know. I mean, I think they'll be able to be okay. The Tempest, like, obviously the Osprey's still there, still repping him. Like, if they trade the Myrmidon for the Tempest, obviously that's a better trade than the Rifter. But yeah, at the same time, and losing your Tempest is not good.
Yeah, definitely not. It looks like Taston here of CleverGirls making an interesting play, burning into the X-Squirror. Looks like he's trying to either force it off or put pressure down. He's going to need to be quick, though, because Catatonic and the Tempest is falling quickly, and right now we're kind of in a race here. Myrmidon versus Catatonic. Was Catatonic on reload that entire time, though? XLASB is ticking now. You know what? If...
Catatonic's holding. I think he's holding. Brett Thomas is obviously doing pretty well with those reps. The Algos is harassing him and holding him down for a bit.
I'm sorry, my internet just died on me, but this is actually getting really intense here. Catatonic survived through reload, is making absolute mincemeat out of this Myrmidon, which basically has rammed him, which I'm not sure was the best play.
You had counted him down and out and said that he was a goner, but he obviously held through this.
Yeah, I definitely was wrong. That XLASB reload absolutely saved him, or he was just bait tanking the entire time. Myrmidon goes down. That was some wonderful play by Catatonic, pulling the Myrmidon in like that with a fake bait tank. I think there was a big misstep for the Myrmidon to get scram-webbed when essentially Catatonic is held down by the Rifter. Big misstep.
Yeah, although Brett Thomas in the Osprey is now taking huge amounts of damage. I'm not quite sure what's shooting him, but this Algos is holding him down. He has tons of shield bots on him, but it's obviously not enough. I think he's running his ASB overheated to try and keep himself alive.
Another thing to note, though, is Taston for CleverGirls pushing away the X-Squirror. I don't want to say like pushing away as in like he can't really force it anywhere, but making it move around, making Lilith make decisions on ProviShotZ team may have had an effect as well. So excellent positional play considering the Ferox is just free to roam. Tempest is free now, and they're both just running for that Megathron with the Myrmidon down without their links, and with the CleverGirls still having their skirmish links up provided by the Ferox. I don't know if they're going to be able to. I don't know if ProviShotZ can go back, although they have killed the Osprey, so this is going to be close.
Yeah, the Osprey was actually pinned down by both, I believe, the Algos and the Rifter, as well as having the Myrmidon and the Korax trying to free him. It was like this little support wing fight that everyone was having, and I think the Megathon was actually shooting at him. So the Megatron now is.
Lilith is doing really, really well here. ProviShotZ X-Square of just positioning himself correctly, just pulling away from the Ferox when it was running at him, and just staying near and always near the Megatron. He knows that he needs to be with the Mega to try and give them a chance. But you know what? That structure tank, I was hoping it'd maybe hold up a little bit, but it doesn't look like to be doing too well with the Ferox and the Tempest sitting right on top of it.
Yeah, this Megatron's obviously holding up pretty well. He's bleeding really low into structure, but I think this like you said earlier, Lilith is keeping him alive.
Ooh, wow. Down now. Lilith has already been caught.
Spoke too soon. Now it's just Tempest.
Merlin has been just absolutely instrumental, just grabbing him right there. But I think this is curtains. I have to say, really, really good play here. I was completely taken aback by Catatonics just holding out till he was hitting structure, and then he either used his XLASB or he started baiting then, or survived through a reload. I'm not sure what it was, but kind of an outplay right there that the Myrmidon got that close to the Tempest when he didn't ideally need to be in scram web range, if at all possible. Killing that Myrmidon like that was really, really great. They sacrificed a lot with the Osprey going down, but at that point, it seemed that the battle was won already, Rain.
Yeah, for sure, especially because they took down the Myrmidon, and obviously if you can take down those heavy support DPS ships, like the Myrmidon, regardless of like DPS drones or rep drones, plus the Lynx, like that was, I think, clearly worth it, because especially this Tempest can kind of keep alive on his own.
Yeah, the Tempest, I think, has always been a really strong pick in these 5v5s, and I think the Battleship is kind of like the keystone of any team. I think Tempest is probably my favorite, actually. It has a lot of utility. It doesn't have a great damage at range, but we saw some excellent use of it here, using its newts, smart bombs, as well as its damage and speed just to kind of be where it needed to be throughout the map. I cannot say enough. ProviShotZ, their Logi pilot was super good, but at the same time, Taston in the Ferox, moving around when he had the opportunity to try to push the Executor off that Myrmidon at just the perfect time was excellent play.
And these support ships, I think, deserve a lot of credit too. The destroyers and the frigate pilots did really well at like tackling these key cruisers, key battleships, and then also just like kind of being just a nuisance.
It was great. The Rifter in the beginning. What can you say? Rain, take us home. What a great match.
I know. The victory goes to CleverGirls. With that, we'll send it back to Apothecary in the studio.